In a courtroom where excuses don't work and the truth matters, two defendants are about to face a judge who is known for her strict and no-nonsense approach to justice. What begins as a routine hearing quickly turns into a surprising moment when the judge starts questioning the defendant's stories. The first case involves a man accused of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. As he explains his situation to the court, he claims that he has been homeless for 10 years and says the pandemic played a major role in his life falling apart. But as the judge listens carefully, parts of his story begin to raise serious doubts. When asked simple questions about his own family and future plans, he struggles to give clear answers, making the situation even more suspicious. Then comes the second case. Another defendant is back in court for violating the terms of his probation. He admits to breaking the rules and knows he could face a long prison sentence. At first, it seems like there is already an agreement for how long he will serve. However, the judge has the final say. Believing that the defendant has not taken the court seriously, she makes a decision that shocks everyone in the room. These courtroom moments quickly turn into a powerful reminder that when it comes to justice, honesty and responsibility matter more than excuses.
Andrew Drago?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. On June 30th, you entered a plea of no contest to the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on counts 1 and 2. There's punishment to be assessed at a cap of 5 years. There's $2,500 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and the state is silent on your application. And there's a no contact order that's outside the agreement. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Any objections, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are there any witnesses, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, I'll call the defendant.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All right.
Your Honor.
You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Matthew Andrew Drogo.
All right. Defense?
Mr. Hidrogo, we're here asking the court for probation, deferred adjudication today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be asking you some questions. I'd like you to answer them directly and truthfully, okay? At the time of this offense, you were homeless. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And make sure you speak out loud.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And looking through the PSI, I suspect that you've been homeless for quite some time. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You have, respectfully, you have an extensive criminal history, particularly with respect to misdemeanors, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it appears that most of those were for theft or criminal trespass.
Yes, sir.
Is that because you were homeless during those times?
Yes, sir.
You do have some felonies, but it looks like you've never been to GDC, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been to state jail, however, on 3 times.
Yes, sir.
And were those for offenses related to your homelessness as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long in your life, give or take, have you been homeless?
Maybe like 10 years, sir.
Okay. Any particular reason why?
No, sir. Just I'm an adult. A corona hit me and my family, and I became homeless.
Okay. Now, there's a few things that I want to speak to that the PSI addresses. Okay. Now, in the PSI, you frankly you deny committing the offense. Correct. You state that you were acting in self-defense.
Yes, sir.
However, you chose to plead to this and not proceed to jury trial because you did not feel the jury would believe your defense. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I spoke to you about that again this morning. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you persist that you do not want a jury trial because of the fact that you don't believe the jury will believe your defense. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Also, the PSI mentions that you are a confirmed gang member. And to that, how do you respond?
No, sir. I'm not confirmed.
Let me start over. They're just saying that you have to be careful what you ask for. And potentially, if the judge gives you deferred adjudication, and you violate that deferred adjudication, the court could at that time sentence you up to 20 years in prison versus the 5 years, which is the maximum today. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So you understand that if you are asking for deferred adjudication and you get it, you better do everything that's asked of you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be able to do what's asked of you, especially considering the fact that you've been essentially homeless for the last 10 years?
Yes, sir.
Would you remain homeless if the court gives you deferred adjudication, or do you have plans?
No, sir. I got a place to stay
Where?
with my mom.
Right? Respectfully, why have you not stayed with her up to now?
Because I was trying to look for a job, try to keep her safe from corona, because I probably thought I had corona too. But I guess I don't have it. Yeah.
So, but going forward, if you're given an opportunity on deferred adjudication, you've decided and your mom has agreed that you'll reside with her. Treatment is necessary at this time. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
You don't have a substance abuse disorder.
No, sir.
Is there anything else you want the court to know?
No, sir.
I'll pass. Stay silent. I'll pass the witness.
State, do you have any questions?
Just briefly, Your Honor, Mr. Drago, the 2 times that you were given felony probation, you were given probation, but then you were revoked off your probation. Is that correct? One in 2009 for burglary of a building. Do you recall that?
I can't remember what. I think so, sir.
And then also evading arrest second, back in 2014. You were revoked in 2014 and revoked in 2009. You recall that?
Can't remember. Yes, sir. I think so.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
No questions, Karen.
All right, I have a few questions. What gang are they alleging that you belong to?
Oh, they're trying to say I'm a Sureño
Why would they say that?
13, because they said I had a 13 on my stomach. They said I was a Sureño, but I'm not.
What's significant about the number 13 for you that you would tattoo it on your stomach?
It's just like I don't got it tattooed. It was just like a number I got when I was younger. But it's like a lucky number. It's not a gang thing. Like it's different stuff. It's just a number for like.
So why all the numbers would you put that on there?
Because it's for my name, Matthew. It's M2 for middle initial Matthew. It's just a lucky number 13. I'm not affiliated, Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't know many people who just put 13 on their bodies because they think it's lucky. Unless they're gambling, and I don't think 13 is a lucky number when you gamble. All right. So why is it you can't hold a job for longer than 6 months?
Because I was trying to apply for SSI checks, Your Honor.
SSI for what?
Mental disability. When I was in school, I was getting SSI checks. I was in behavior improvement special ed classes when I was growing up.
There are a lot of people who are in special ed classes. They don't qualify for SSI. So again, we're back to this point because what you told your attorney was COVID hit and all these other things happened. And that is why you were homeless.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know how you can not be homeless if you're only working 6 months at a time. So again, we're back to the question of why is the longest job you've ever had has been for 6 months?
Because I had it for 6 months and then I stopped and just became homeless.
So basically your homelessness was a choice because you stopped working at whatever job you had. You stopped working at 6 months.
I tried to get SSI too, Your Honor.
No, you don't. So what ends up happening is you have a job for 6 months. Did you have a bank account?
Oh, Your Honor.
So you have a job for 6 months. You have no savings and you decide to quit your job in the hopes of getting SSI.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't, and you end up homeless.
Yeah, I didn't get it because they had me on hold. They said I signed out the papers and everything, but they said it would take anywhere from like a year. I was waiting for like a year, Your Honor.
All right. So Mr. Drago, I'm focusing on why you're homeless because you're making it seem as though you're homeless because things happened to you, not because you did certain things. So it appears to the court, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, you're homeless because you wanted to be homeless. You had a job, you have been working it for 6 months, you decide to quit that job, you have no money in your bank account, and so you just become homeless.
Because I thought I had corona, but I didn't have it, Your Honor.
So you didn't have corona,
Yeah.
so then that excuse is out the window.
That's when I got in trouble.
So you were just homeless basically because you wanted to be homeless.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now let's get to the next question. So the complainants in this case, were they eating at a restaurant?
No, Your Honor, they're pulling up to a restaurant.
All right, so they're pulling up to a restaurant and you disturb them, asking them for money to support you, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you're homeless and you don't want to work. So you want to get money from people who are trying to just go to a restaurant and enjoy their meal in peace, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, how old is your mother?
My mother, she's like 50 something. I'm not so sure, Your Honor.
All right, so you don't know how old your mother is. What's her date of birth?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Do you know what month she was born in?
Oh, Your Honor.
Do you know what day it is?
It's 4/27.
So you're saying she was born in April?
I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know when she was born. I don't know. She's like 56, 57.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 37.
Courtrooms are places where people often come hoping for a second chance. Some walk in believing they can explain their way out of trouble, while others think the system might show them mercy. But sometimes the person sitting behind the bench has already seen every excuse in the book. And on this day, 2 defendants are about to learn that the courtroom is not the place for stories that don't add up. The atmosphere inside the courtroom is quiet but tense. Everyone understands that what happens here can affect someone's life for years to come. The judge listens carefully as the first case is called forward. A man named Andrew Drago stands before the court. He is facing a serious charge, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Instead of pleading guilty or not guilty, he chooses to enter a plea of no contest. This type of plea means that he isn't directly admitting guilt, but he also isn't fighting the charge. For many defendants, this is a strategic decision. It allows the court to move forward with sentencing while avoiding a full trial. But even with this plea, the judge still wants to understand the circumstances surrounding the defendant and his situation. As the hearing begins, Drago starts explaining his life story. He tells the court that he has been homeless for nearly 10 years. According to him, his life took a downward turn, and he eventually ended up living without a stable place to stay. He then tries to explain the reason behind his situation. Drago claims that the COVID-19 pandemic played a major role in the struggles that led to his homelessness. But almost immediately, something about this explanation raises questions. The timeline simply doesn't make sense. COVID-19 has not existed for 10 years. The pandemic only began affecting people's lives a few years ago. The judge quickly notices this inconsistency, and it becomes clear that she is paying close attention to every detail in the story being told. As the conversation continues, Drago admits something else that surprises the courtroom. He explains that at one point he stopped working and essentially chose to remain homeless. This statement only adds more confusion to the situation. For someone asking the court for understanding or leniency, this explanation doesn't seem to help his case. The judge then shifts the conversation toward the future. She asks Drago what his plan would be if he were given probation instead of prison time. Drago responds that he would go live with his mother. At first, this answer sounds reasonable. Many defendants promise the court that they will return to family members who can support them while they try to rebuild their lives. But the judge decides to ask a few simple questions. Questions that most people would easily answer. She asks about his mother's basic details, things like her age or her birthday. Instead of responding confidently, Drago struggles to give clear answers. The hesitation immediately raises eyebrows in the courtroom. If someone plans to live with their mother after leaving court, it would seem natural that they would know basic information about her. The uncertainty in his answers begins to make the judge question how realistic this plan actually is. But the questioning doesn't stop there. At one point during the hearing, the judge notices a tattoo on Drago's stomach, the number 13. In many situations, tattoos can have different meanings, but in some cases, certain numbers or symbols are associated with gang culture. The judge asks about the tattoo. Drago quickly denies any gang affiliation. He insists that the tattoo does not represent involvement in a gang and claims it has a different meaning. Even so, the presence of the tattoo, combined with the earlier inconsistencies in his story, leaves the judge unconvinced. Throughout the hearing, the judge listens carefully but remains calm and firm. She has likely heard thousands of explanations over the years, and she understands that not every story told in court is completely truthful. After reviewing the case and considering everything that has been said, the time finally comes for the decision. The courtroom becomes silent. The judge announces the sentence. For the 2 counts related to the assault charge, Drago will receive 5 years in prison for each count. However, the sentences will run concurrently, meaning they will be served at the same time rather than back to back. He will also receive credit for the time he has already spent in custody. Before moving on, the judge offers him a final piece of advice. She tells him that life is about making better choices and working for the things you want. It's a brief statement, but the message is clear. Excuses will not change the consequences of actions. With that case concluded, the courtroom quickly moves on to the next defendant. The second case involves a man named David Matthew Newman. Unlike the first defendant, Newman is not facing a new charge. Instead, he is back in court because he allegedly violated the terms of his probation. Probation is often seen as a second chance. Instead of serving time in prison, a person is allowed to remain in the community under certain conditions. These conditions are meant to help them stay out of trouble and address the behavior that brought them to court in the first place. But probation also comes with strict rules. And according to the court, Newman has failed to follow several of those rules. The violations include failing to complete required treatment programs and possessing materials that he was not allowed to have. When asked about these violations, Newman admits that the accusations are true. He pleads true to the violations, which means he is acknowledging that he broke the terms of his probation. At this point, everyone in the courtroom understands the seriousness of the situation. Because of the violations, Newman could face up to 10 years in prison. However, it initially appears that there is an agreement in place. The proposed sentence is 6 years in prison. In many court proceedings, agreements like this are made between attorneys and prosecutors before the hearing even begins. They help speed up the process and provide a predictable outcome for everyone involved. But there is one important detail that every defendant must remember. The judge is not always required to follow these agreements. And in this case, something about the situation causes the judge to reconsider. As the hearing continues, it becomes clear that the judge believes Newman has not taken the conditions of his probation seriously enough. Probation is meant to be an opportunity to prove that someone can follow the law and rebuild their life. When those conditions are ignored, the court often sees it as a sign that the second chance was not appreciated. After reviewing the case, the judge prepares to announce the final decision. The courtroom waits. Newman may have expected the 6-year agreement to stand, but the judge has the authority to make the final call. When she speaks, the decision surprises everyone. Instead of 6 years, Newman is sentenced to 8 years in prison. In addition to the prison sentence, he is also ordered to pay a fine of $1,500 and comply with registration requirements. The increased sentence sends a clear message. The court expects defendants to follow the rules when they are given an opportunity to stay out of prison. Failing to do so can lead to consequences that are even more severe than expected. As the hearing ends, the courtroom returns to its usual rhythm. Another case has been decided, and 2 defendants are left facing the reality of their situations. Moments like these show how unpredictable court proceedings can be. Some defendants walk in expecting leniency, while others believe their explanations will change the outcome. But when the judge carefully examines the facts and the behavior of the people standing before her, the final decision often comes down to one thing: accountability. And in this courtroom, accountability is something that cannot be avoided.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is going to find you guilty in count 1 and count 2. Court is going to sentence you to 5 years in the prison in each count. Each count will run concurrent. Give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Drago, when you get out, you need to make better choices. Get employed. If we want stuff, we have to work for it. I know people think it's okay to come up to people and ask them for money, but sometimes people don't want to be bothered. They're just trying to spend time with their family. You understand?
Yeah.
Good luck. And are you David Newman? Are both parties ready to proceed on this motion to revoke? Are you the same David Matthew Newman who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0689 for the offense of possession of on February 1st, 2022 for a term of 10 years? Is that you?
The defendant, David Matthew Newman, did then and there fail to comply with the instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department programs, and that the defendant failed to comply with the instructions of Lone Star Offender Treatment Program, his court-ordered sex offender treatment program, and that the defendant was suspended from treatment for failing to abide by treatment program rules in violation of condition 13B.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True, ma'am.
State.
In condition 13H, on or about the 12th day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, David Matthew Newman, did then and there fail to comply with the instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervisions and Corrections Department program, and that the defendant was in possession of materials in violation of condition 13H.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? State.
And lastly, the state is proceeding under condition 16 on or about the 21st day of September 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, David Matthew Newman, failed to comply with Chapter 62 requirements in violation of condition 16.
How do you plead to that? True or not true? Did you understand by pleading true to violations 13B, 13H, and 16, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
I understand.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to 13B, 13H, and 16?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find 13B, 13H, and 16 true. Is there an agreement?
There is an agreement, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
Revocation and a sentence of 6 years TDC.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. With regards to allegation number 16, is that, or is that a different type of?
That is non-contraband, not child pornography.
Adult?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is going to grant the motion, revoke you, sentence you to 8-year fine. Time and money will run concurrent. There to be Chapter 62 registration. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You have a limited right to appeal, and that's as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on community supervision. Do you understand? All right. Good luck to you.
Good.
Yes.
The deal was for 6 years, and I believe you announced 8. Is that?
Yes. I'm not following that plea. Okay. Thank you.